Today's tropical weather update is brought to you by State Insurance Company Limited. Live in a better state of mind.
And hello there, I'm meteorologist Leonard Josiah with a look at your usual, by now, your tropical weather update. Today's the 4th day in the month of July. We have said goodbye to the month of June. Let's all start with a little bit of a tropical cyclone and hurricane climatology. You're looking at the chart right now. You're looking at what we call the tropical climatology, where we are in the context of tropical cyclone formation in the years past and present. We're looking at July. We're seeing that we're still on the lower end of the scale, but things are beginning to rise. This is where we are mostly worried about August, September, and October. This is when the main development area, storms that would and could impact us, become a real issue. And so we're taking a look at this particular area. This is what we call the peak months, September, but August, September, and October. These are the times when certainly our anxiety is up for us here in the Eastern Caribbean islands. Well, the National Hurricane Center is suggesting that there is a of disturbed weather not going to be affecting us. Take a look at where it's at. You're looking at the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea, and this area right there is a spot of bother, particularly for those individuals closer to Florida, etc. Take a look at where it's at right now. The National Hurricane Center suggests that in the next 2 to 7 days, there's a 60% chance that we will see an area or tropical cyclone forming out of this area. Let's take you a little bit more closer, and you'll see that it's a healthy area on satellite imagery, Florida right here, and take a look at where it's at. I'm doing this because those of you who are traveling to Florida possibly would want to know whether or not there's a tropical system very close. The cloud mass suggests that it is close to Florida, but is limbering right here, hardly moving. Well, a hurricane hunter is going to be going on into this particular system during the course of the day, and we will find out whether or not the third tropical system has formed. But for right now, it remains an area of disturbed weather. And in the context of us here in the Eastern Caribbean islands, here's where it's at. This is where we are located in the context relative to Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of the Leeward Islands. It's not a direct threat. It's so far out towards the northeast, but yet still we're going to be keeping an eye on that. The Caribbean Sea behind of me, nothing much to talk about. You're seeing some spots of clouds right now. The Leeward Islands and islands further towards the south, the northern Atlantic Ocean continues to be rather quiet. I'm taking you right out to the coast of Africa. You're looking at all this particular area right here, dry. Even those tropical waves that are coming off the coast of Africa, they're not coming off really healthy for right now. We're looking at even the intertropical convergence zone so far towards the south. Look at this tropical wave right here, another tropical wave. None of these are giving signs that they will be developing. So in the context of tropical cyclone formation, rest your hearts at ease that for right now we are sitting pretty good. And even on our visible satellite, you're looking at a swirl that's taking place right now associated with this tropical wave, but is enshrouded within a cloud of dust, drier atmospheric conditions. These clouds are not forecast to go, and these tropical waves are just struggling for right now. Hurrah for that, because we're looking at some dry, dusty environment. Take a look at it right there, all the way out to the Eastern Caribbean islands and the Leeward Islands and islands further towards the south. I will be talking to you about this tropical wave in a minute, but all the Atlantic Ocean is what we call relatively stable for right now, and the moisture content of the atmosphere will also show this. Now you're looking at the Eastern Caribbean islands right here, Antigua and Barbuda, the Leeward Islands, islands further towards the south. But taking you right over to the coast of Africa, look at it right here, all this dry, dusty environment, and you're seeing some tropical waves coming off, and even the intertropical convergence zone. Some moisture is there, but all this dryness is why the main development area is void of significant clouds and associated with it. So if we're talking about how will this impact us, looking from right across from Africa all the way west to the Eastern Caribbean islands, all this dusty environment, all this dry air funneling westwards. So the next couple of days, not only will there not be anything for us to worry about in the context of tropical cyclone formation, but in the context of even rainfall. Where would the next rainfall come from with all this dry air? So going on into the weekend, this dry atmospheric conditions will be with us. And if the European model was telling us one thing, when you talk about even the American model is saying the very same thing. Dry atmospheric conditions funneling right over towards us here in the Eastern Caribbean islands. So we can rest our hearts at ease that in the context of tropical cyclone formation, every single thing is on the down low for right now. Let's bring you closer to home. I just spoke to you about a tropical wave. Tropical wave moved on over the southern Windward Islands, Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. The axis is now west of the area. So in the context of any hazards, all of that is now moving away. Some spotty showers and yes, some isolated thunderstorms still lingering because of the daytime instability around the Trinidad and the Tobago. But for us here in the Eastern Caribbean islands, which I would speak to you about in a minute, but for over Barbados, you're seeing some line of clouds, still some instability over the southern region with this tropical wave because the moisture content is a little bit more elevated over the southern area, moving towards the west. Further towards the north, high pressure continues to cap the atmosphere. British Virgin Islands, and by the way, I have some folks that are listening in from the British Virgin Islands, and if you're wondering whether or not you're going to be seeing tropical cyclone formation is on the down low for right now, but yet still, all we are seeing some patches of low-level clouds. You're seeing them right there. Nighttime imagery, daytime imagery, you're seeing some of that right there. But take a look at the murkiness, dusty conditions right over us because of that haze and the dryness of the atmosphere. So going on into the weekend, it should be rather good for those of us in the Eastern Caribbean islands. We continue to monitor the tropics. Remember to stay ready because anything can happen at any time, but the dryness of the main development area has given us a little bit of reprieve. For if you're on the outside, remember to send some pics to us. If you're seeing something interesting and you want to engage with us, remember that your eyes are our eyes and we want to engage with you. And so share those pictures at abmsiwatch@gmail.com. Again, send those pictures to abmsiwatch@gmail.com. Remember to continue to monitor with us and stay ready. How do you do that? By logging on to our various platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X, our hotline, our website. All these avenues are right there so that you can get the latest information. As I always say, that the weather will always change, and whether you like it or not, we have to respond to the weather. And that's all for the information to Weather Your Weather. I'm Leonard Josiah saying have a great Friday and a restful and peaceful weekend.
Today's tropical weather update has been brought to you by State Insurance Company Limited. Live in a better state of mind.